Now, flying squirrels don't actually fly. They fall with style. Like this model shows, it has a flap of skin on either side of its body connected to its paws that it uses to glide through the air. It has an extra finger to help extend its flap to its fullest extent. It uses its limbs and its tail as a rudder to turn and to navigate, and it uses its tail as a brake to slow it down before it lands. They are very cool, but also very secretive creatures. I've only seen them a couple times in the wild, running up and down some trees and taking some seed from a bird feeder. But we get the opportunity to see one over at the Howell Nature Center. So we're here with Evan Luer and this awesome little member of the squirrel kind. Evan, what can you tell us about him?
So in North America, there are 3 species of flying squirrels. Here with us today is Alvin, the southern flying squirrel. And in addition to all the characteristics that make squirrels what they are going to be great at caching nuts, so about 15,000 a season. But they're also one of the only carnivorous squirrels. So between that and the plants, they're actually an omnivore. And so they're going to go after things like eggs, birds, and even carrion, which is animals that are already dead.
So what are some crazy facts that you can share about their gliding ability?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. So flying squirrels are these incredible tiny little athletes. So imagine you are at one end of a football field, right? We've all kind of seen one of those. So you put a flying squirrel up at the top of one of the end zones at the goalposts, and then imagine you've got an entire obstacle course of trees. Not only can they get from one end to the other, but they can navigate doing turns that are as tight as 90 degrees or even sometimes 180. And then when they finally land, they have these little cushions on their feet that help them to absorb the impact.
So what can you share with us about how they're designed for the nocturnal life?
So most squirrels are diurnal, or they come out during the day. And so for our flying squirrels, they've got a few different adaptations that help them to survive at night. First off, you're not gonna really see them, you're more likely to hear them. So if you go out at night and you listen for what almost sounds like bird calls, then chances are you're hearing the high-pitched calls of a flying squirrel. Or if you ever have had a chance to see a flying squirrel, you've seen those kind of big old black eyes. And that's because they need to be able to see their world, because unlike animals like bats, they don't really have a source of echolocation. So we talked about that obstacle course. That's how they navigate it, with those big old eyes being able to take in a lot more light than, say, your eyes or my eyes. And then if you've ever seen them, they're kind of that drab coloration, right? That brown on the outside to help them camouflage into trees, but they're kind of hiding a surprise underneath if you're a flying squirrel, because they can actually see in the ultraviolet spectrum. So where we just see this kind of creamy colored belly, they're actually seeing the difference between male and female, because the males have a slightly pink biofluorescence to their bellies that the females can see, but we, without being able to see that, have no idea about until recently. So pretty cool little squirrel to have in our backyard, even if we never really get to see it.